Gwni Corto Firkinos ar an Veresh Skull Saurig Patrick MacGill. Honig Menschat na Kate Skullina fi play over no Simmerke Octo Margurt Meta Ahasar an Venshakas and Disporkshire Shul Iron. That Ireland is in need of transformation, no one can doubt. Due to the actions of those in whom trust was placed, be it by commission or omission, we have lost much of our economic sovereignty and independence. Our international reputation has been damaged. Yet, within Ireland, powerful capacities, great intelligence and talent remains, capable of acknowledging and rejecting that which has failed, and even more importantly, capable of recognising those principles upon which our shared future must now be built. This transformation must be one that deepens engagement rather than bowing to cynicism, that extends rather than erodes democracy, that initiates changes not just in our political structures, but also in our institutions, our language, our way of dealing with each other, and, however difficult it is, in our consciousness. It is my conviction that a certain version of Ireland which prevailed in our recent past must now be regarded as over and rejected. This is a question you must put to every candidate. That narrow version of Ireland was not based on the best of our traditions, nor was it drawn from the true potential of our contemporary period. Rather, it was characterised by an extreme and unrestrained individualism and an almost reverential approach to wealth and speculation that often pushed social concerns to the margins. There was a real disjoint, and it's pointless to avoid it, between an irresponsible elite and the ongoing struggles of many citizens who found themselves excluded. This version of Irish society was destructive at home, and it damaged our reputation abroad, not only in Europe but elsewhere. Indeed, some commentators were astounded at the unrestrained arrogance of some of our spokespersons. It must then be a starting point in the transformation that we need, that we recognise that there should be no going back to that inadequate and unworthy version of ourselves. Yet Ireland, I also believe, must move beyond recrimination and beyond cynicism and draw on our strengths and on the very best aspects of ourselves, our generous humanity, our humour, our rich heritage, our creativity. And we must seek to create something that is new, emancipatory, and genuinely transformative. And I believe that the presidency has a powerful contribution to make to this transformation. As someone who in another role also was a political scientist who taught in this area, I am very aware of both the potential and the limitations of the office of president. The presidency has, as you have heard, essentially three main functions. It has a constitutional role and a ceremonial role, both of which must be conducted with dignity and sophistication, recognising always that one is not speaking for oneself, but for all the Irish people. The third area is the area where the character of the presidency is defined. That is, the discretionary area available to the president, and how it is used in terms of the choice of themes addressed, who you speak to, and when, are matters of great importance, as has been demonstrated by previous presidencies. It is these discretionary choices that define the values that are lodged in the incumbent's interpretation of the office. The president, of course, cannot be an organising point of opposition to the government of the day, but the president has the capacity to address important issues that are wider in time and theme from the demanding issues of a government period. The affirmation that the President of Ireland makes on taking office states, "I will dedicate my abilities to the service and welfare of the people of Ireland." In the Irish language it is even stronger. "Malán dhíthile dhéanamh as san leas is fónamh winter na hÉireann." These words are a powerful mandate, a great challenge, and part of what inspired me to seek the presidency. As a candidate for president, I offer a vision of a radically inclusive citizenship in a creative society worthy of a real republic, making us proud to be Irish in the world. My candidacy and this vision are underpinned by years of service to the public at every level, from councillor to cabinet minister to president of the European Council of Culture Ministers in 1996. My participation in public life has always been characterised as well by a genuine independence of mind and a strong policy-driven emphasis in everything I have done. In deciding last year to seek a nomination for the presidency, I deliberately announced the decision early, rather than returning to the Dáil last February. I decided, out of respect for the constituency in Galway West that I'd represented for 25 years, and as a mark of my commitment to this new and important challenge, that I propose to undertake, to step aside and devote myself entirely and uncompromisingly to the campaign to become President of Ireland, an honour and opportunity I take seriously. The four important, deeply connected aspects of Ireland's transformation, then, which I have proposed in my vision for the presidency, include citizenship, a creative society, a real republic, and pride in being Irish in the world. And I believe that Uachtaráin na hÉireann has both an inspirational and a practical role to play in each of these four areas. As to the real republic, honestly, I believe that in many senses the Republic of Equals which was sought and which inspired so many who took part in the 1913 lockout, the Easter Rising, the War of Independence, has never been fully realised. It has, however, and I acknowledge this as an ideal, stayed alive and re-emerged in movements for social justice and equality throughout the years, and in campaigns for participation and inclusion. The time has now come to reassert that sense of possibility and turn our collective efforts to the creation of a real republic. That real republic based on a recognition of the dignity of every citizen, irrespective of gender, capacity, orientation or means. It is that recognition of dignity that is the common principle across all cultures where there is a meaningful pursuit of human rights. If elected as President of Ireland, I will support those initiatives where citizens are again actively imagining and debating our shared vision as a nation. I will take a strong interest in the deliberation and outcomes of the National Constitutional Convention proposed by the government. But I would hope further to enhance such processes of interrogation and renewal by becoming patron to a series of presidency seminars, inviting participation from a wide cross-section of society, and addressing such wider issues as the restoration of trust in our institutions, participation and inclusion within our communities, Ireland's role in developing a more generous social European project, our relationship with the environment, deepening connections with those who have left, and issues of global interdependency. As to inclusive citizenship, in recent years, in my book Causes for Concern and in a number of papers over the years, I've been consistently calling for a meaningful debate on citizenship, a real debate which, while it would, for example, include the generosity that is involved in volunteering, would go much further and also debate an appropriate rights space for citizenship. I believe we must now promote a positive vision of what it means to be a citizen in Ireland, a citizenship based on equality and respect with a basic level of rights and participation, a citizenship floor below which no one should be allowed to fall. We need to move away from radical individualism towards a radical kind of inclusion. Inclusion means valuing diversity in all its forms and challenging exclusion wherever it occurs. No one in our society should experience the destructive effects of discrimination, isolation, or rejection. Inclusion means celebrating solidarity by recognising the aspirations, concerns, creativity and potential of every citizen, regardless of their age, orientation, capacities or means. Inclusive citizenship also brings responsibility, a life that goes beyond the self to include those around us and indeed the generations yet to come. If elected President, I will use the discretion of that the office allows to highlight initiatives for inclusion across Ireland and actively promote a citizenship based on equality, respect, solidarity and participation. The creative society, in terms of Ireland's reputation, one of our greatest strengths, constantly renewed, has been the acknowledged creativity of the Irish people. And this is a powerful resource in the reconstruction of a better version of ourselves, both at home and abroad. Ireland has produced and continues to produce wonderful writers, artists, playwrights, poets and musicians. Yet such artists are only one example of what can be possible in a creative society in which each citizen is given the opportunity to imagine and to contribute. The creative society, of course, cannot be imposed from above. It is built on creativity made possible in communities, properly respected. The cultural space can be an invitation to push the boundaries of the possible, enfranchising us all in our capacity for living and enriching the social and economic life of the nation. As Ireland's First Minister for Arts, Culture and the Gaeltacht, I saw the transformational potential of creativity. It was a potential I helped realise by practical measures such as the redevelopment of the Irish film industry, the setting up of Television na Gaeilge, now TG Cahar, the removal of Section 31 of the Broadcasting Acts, and so on. But we can be creative in research, in innovation, in tradition, in how we do business, in how we celebrate how we offer our supports to young people, how we care for people. I think that, quite frankly, the creative industries will flourish best and sustainably when they're based on creative communities. I think as well there are things we can be proud of and that we should build on. It is a time for drawing on our strengths, and that includes excellence in culture and the arts, creativity in business, pride in our heritage. I think as well it will be part of the next presidency to build a proper, sustained relationship with our diaspora. Not only the people who are leaving now, but those who have left in years gone by. I also want to say this, is that I am not inventing an agenda for this presidency campaign. I am offering you the testament of my life, which was in the 70s and 80s to work for human rights at home. And if necessary, when matters were unpopular, were ones of principle, to pay the price as I did in the 1980s when I lost my seat. But it is with confidence I'm saying this to you. I have a great, great belief in the decencies of the Irish people, in the enormous creativity of people of every age. I think that the President must be intergenerationally inclusive and invite us all to build this alternative republic, this real republic, recognising that our country is full of potential. But I think it would be dishonest if I didn't say, you must make your mind up as to whether you want to revive that which has brought us to our knees, or whether you want to move out in a new direction, drawing on the best of ourselves, ethically, restoring a connection between the economy, ethics, ourselves, and build really at last a real republic. Go to Mila Mahagin.